First gear, 86 to 87? What gas should you put in your car? The gas that the owner's manual calls for, which, in most cars that regular people drive, is regular old 87 octane. Some cars, mainly with performance in mind, call for higher octane fuels, which makes sense if the engine has been designed to maximize the higher octane fuel by running with higher compression ratio, and if you don't want engine knock. Higher compression ratios, and thus higher octane, can have the additional benefit of greater fuel efficiency if the engine is built that way from the start, however. Which is why automakers are now lobbying for a new, global standard of 95 octane at fuel pumps, eschewing all that 87 octane, 91 octane, and 93 octane fuel we've been pumping into our cars for years. In testimony Friday before the House Energy and Commerce Committee's Environment Subcommittee, Dan Nicholson, General Motors Vice President of Global Propulsion Systems, said making 95 octane the new regular aligns the US with Europe and is one of the most affordable ways to boost fuel economy and lower greenhouse gas emissions. GM, Ford Motor Company and Fiat Chrysler Automobiles, working with the United States Council for Automotive Research, are seeking just one grade of fuel, 95. That would eliminate today's grades, generally 87 octane for regular, 88 to 94 mid-grade and 91 to 94 for premium. Even though premium gasoline costs about 50 cents more per gallon than regular, Nicholson says moving to 95 octane would cost consumers far less. Speaking during a panel discussion at SAE International WCX World Congress Experience in Detroit the day before testifying before the House Subcommittee, Nicholson said a 3% fuel economy improvement could be attained for less than a 3% increase in the cost of fuel. This is all a bit hypothetical, since an industry-wide shift to 95 octane would require a fundamental retooling of engines going forward to account for higher compression ratios with which to fully realize any of the benefits of a higher octane gas. But on a visceral level 95 octane is exciting, since it was fun that one time in high school when I put 94 octane gas in my Volvo 240 wagon and pretended that it had suddenly turned into a high-performance race car. The potential new gas standard also doesn't quite align with what our future actually is, which is electric cars, fuel cell cars, and autonomous cars. Still, I'm down with a future that is just robotaxis and high-performance, fuel-efficient gasoline engines on the side, pumping that sweet 95 octane into its veins. Second gear, China's loosening foreign ownership rules are good for Tesla, but won't change much in the short term. China said yesterday that they would eventually permit foreign car makers to fully own companies based in the country, eliminating a requirement that foreign car makers only own up to 50% of companies based there. It's good news for Tesla, Bloomberg reports, though, for now, it probably won't change much for everyone else, since, as anyone who's ever been in a long-term relationship knows, sometimes it's easier to stay together rather than break up. In a decade, foreign car makers will gradually become all independent and Chinese companies will lose the cash flows from the joint ventures, said Yale Zhang, an analyst with Automotive Foresight Company in Shanghai. Foreign car makers will be happy as they won't have to share 50% of the profits with their Chinese partners. The landscape is unlikely to change overnight. Buying out joint venture partners will prove expensive and going it alone would require billions of dollars in fresh investment. China's announcement comes on the heels of a similar move for the financial industry last week. Elon Musk's Tesla in particular is in a position to benefit from the relaxed ownership rules. Musk hasn't been able to secure a deal to open an assembly plant in China, after negotiating with Shanghai's government for more than a year. The sides disagreed on the ownership structure, people with knowledge of the situation said in February. Tesla declined to comment. Third gear, Porsche raided. The raids involved dozens of police officers and were carried out at several sites in Germany, according to Agence France Presse. Prosecutors from Stuttgart and Munich were joined by some 160 police officers in a search of 10 sites in the states of Baden-Württemberg and Bavaria, the Stuttgart prosecutor's office said in a statement. The three unnamed individuals are under investigation for suspected fraud and false advertising stemming from the manipulation of exhaust treatment in diesel vehicles manufactured by Porsche. The three accused consist of one member of Porsche's executive board and one senior manager. The third accused no longer works for Porsche, prosecutors said. Porsche confirmed the raids in a statement to AFP, adding that searches were taking place at the company's offices in the southwestern city of Stuttgart, as well as at Audi offices in Ingolstadt.